Pirates of the Caribbean, underrated trilogy.
You think so?
I don't think people. It's not in the conversation of, greatest trilogy. It's not obviously in the Lord of the Rings, Star Wars. I'm thinking of other trilogy. I know there's 4, but the 4th one was pretty bad. But I think it's a underrated franchise as a whole. I think people
they just think Captain Jack.
Yeah, but
I don't.
I think they're at least the first 3 are very fun, good movies.
My favorite is Dead Man's Chest.
Is that the second one?
With Davy Jones.
99 Souls.
Davy Jones is one of the greatest characters in cinematic history for me.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
The biggest, the baddest, wackiest, funniest, filmiest show on earth. Never
Hey, look back to our stupid accent card.
99 souls.
Hey, brothers, I'll give you 10 souls and a bottle of rum.
That would be a great reenactment, but it would be difficult for me to be Davy Jones.
Yeah, you can't afford that.
Are you? Yeah, that would be fun. But you need to.
What are you trying to do him just now?
Yeah, I was thinking about the line he says, and that's why I stopped, because I can't remember it verbatim, the exact line he says to.
Do you know who plays him?
Bill Nye.
The Science Guy.
Yeah. Bill Nye is also really good in Love Actually.
He will always be compared to the Science Guy, unfortunately.
Of course. I say Bill Nye. I'm not the. You know how many times he probably has to say that? I'm not the science guy.
Well, I mean, he looks nothing like the Science Guy.
Nothing like the science guy.
But his name is identical.
Yeah. And I can't. Every time I see him in something, I always see Davy Jones behind those eyes, man. Even in Love Actually, where it's a totally different kind of character. He's great in that. You've seen Love Actually?
Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Do you consider it a Christmas movie?
Heck yeah.
No, I watched it with Steph a few years ago, and it didn't feel like a Christmas movie at all.
I disagree.
I will give it that it was more of a Christmas movie than Die Hard. Sure.
Ends with hope, optimism,
but it didn't feel like a Christmas movie.
I like it. We watched it last Christmas. Yeah. Another new Christmas movie for us that I really, really like is The Holdovers.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Of course. Anyways, today we got this is a video by this gentleman.
Oh, yeah.
Baradwaj
Rangan. We've seen him
and apparently,
a lot.
This is an older one, but one of his favorite movies is the I Want a Kaandam.
Oh, okay, great.
And so people sent him questions about the movie, and he breaks down the movie.
Okay.
In his opinion.
In his opinion?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. It's not like a specific review. He's giving a little more insight to what he thinks about the movie here.
Great.
Which, if you haven't seen our watch along, please go watch the watch along of that. Please go watch that movie.
Yeah.
Fantastic piece of cinema. And we watched the censored version. So here we go.
Hello and welcome to the Ask BR on Aaranya Kaandam. Before we begin this episode, a reminder that this film script is available on the Film Companion website. Here's the link. Dina Boy asks, what makes this film so special being a neo-noir film? Before getting to neo-noir, let's see what noir is. Noir in French means black. So noir cinema refers to a set of black and white films made in the 1940s and the 1950s. I'm generalizing a bit, but the dark shadows of the cinematographies hinted at the dark and pessimistic and cynical world that these films were set in. So what is neo-noir? Neo means new, so neo-noir is just a newer generation of noir. It refers to the films
where you can
made
blend
in the genre from the 1960s onwards. Again, I'm generalizing a bit, but we're talking about color cinematography, more violence, harsher themes, more nudity, and also references and callbacks to the original noir cinema. So why is Aaranya Kaandam a neo-noir or a new noir kind of film? Because it uses a lot of the things that we associate with the genre. Number one, the femme fatale, that is the woman who traps an unsuspecting man into executing her schemes. Number two, the voiceover. 3, a fairly complex plot. 4, a lot of gangsters with no cops in sight. And even when we see these cops, they are not authoritarian figures, but more like foolish people that we laugh at. Lots of shadowy lighting.
Lots of shadow.
Some monochrome lighting. Tilted camera angles or Dutch angles. The grey morality. There are no real good guys. Even the so-called good guys end up doing bad, unlawful things.
I fucking love that guy. Me too.
And finally, a world that allows bad guys to go get away unpunished. It is not a moral world. So I'm sorry if that sounded like a bit of a history lesson, but that is why Aaranya Kaandam is special. It's the first neo-noir film in Tamil. I might even say it's the only neo-noir film because a few years later we got Onayum Atukutiyum, which is like kind of the same kind of film, but it's a far more compassionate film. Anyway, let's not go down this track because then we will be talking about what is noir and neo-noir forever. Let's get to the next question. Sujit Kumar asks, are there any similarities with the storyline and the Ramayana? Or is the title just a nice way of saying that the city is the jungle? I don't know if there are actual similarities with the Ramayana, though you could say the way the Sampath character, Pasupati's wife, is kidnapped is a bit like Sita being kidnapped. Plus her name is Kasturi, which is the name of a deer, and the kidnapping of Sita did involve a deer in the epic. But I think this is more about the meaning of Aaranya Kaandam. Aaranya means forest and Kaandam means chapter. So this is a story about people who live like animals and who live by the laws of the jungle.
சுபு புழுவே மீன் தின்னும் மீனே மனுஷன் தம்மா லைஃப்னா அப்படிதான்
The names of the characters, they are from the animal kingdom too, starting with Singha Perumal. He looks like a lion wearing his teeth, though Tyagarajan and Kumar Raja said this is the face he usually makes to his mother. Look at the names of the other characters too. Pasupati, Kalayan, Chittu, Gajapati and Gajendran. Look at how Sampath's voiceover describes Gajendran.
Gajendranukku madam pidichiruchuna dhumsam panniruvan.
Madam Pidikirthu is usually a phrase we use with the elephant, and in this scene, Gajendran really looks like a mad bull elephant charging. So I think that is what this is about rather than the Ramayana itself. Ganapati Yogesh asks a question about the background score of this film. He says, what do you think made Yuvan place like a more melodic kind of music in the final gangster face-off? Okay, I don't personally know why Yuvan did this, but it's beautiful, so let's listen to it a bit. I look at it as something that goes with the existential mood of the film. See, this is not a typical action movie where you need an adrenaline pumping score. The action has come about after a lot of deliberation by Sampath. So the key emotion here is not the action itself, but whether Sampath will be able to pull off his dangerous plan. And this music, at least to me, this music reflects that. Similarly, this waltz is wonderful.
Yes, wonderful. Very memorable.
It has a bit of sadness, but the basic beat of the waltz, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, it prevents it from getting too sad. Again, it's hard to define, but to my mind, it's something existential. The music does not hype up the emotions, like look at this music towards the end. The woman has succeeded, right? So you might expect some triumphant music, but this again goes with the mood of the film. A bit of trivia. Aaranya Kaandam was supposed to come with 3 songs. The first one was supposed to be around the heroine playing a video game. Then a song was supposed to happen when the father and son stumble upon the heroine's stash and realize that they're going to become rich. This tune was later used in KD Billa Killadi Ranga. And the third song was meant to happen when the Sampath character begins to run. He runs as fast as he can, but the world is slow. The song, therefore, was supposed to play out in slow motion.
Relax, macha.
But I think this film plays very well without the song. So let's get to a question by Gomati Mira, who asked, the film displays a serious and tricky conversation between Vishnugupta Chanakya, and is it related to the plot line of the film? So the film opens with this dialogue set in 400 BC, where this character called Naganandan says, Vishnugupta Yedi Dharmam, and Vishnugupta Chanakya says, Yedi Tevayo Aduve Dharmam. So literally, what does this mean? Naganandan is saying what is right, right? And Chanakya is saying what you need, that defines what's right. But why is this quote in the film? I asked Tyagarajan Kumaraja this, and he said he took this quote from one of his favorite books, the Tamil translation of From Volga to Ganga, which is called Volga Velirundu Gangai Vare. It is a set of short stories that mix fact and fiction to describe the migration of Aryan tribes from Eastern Europe to India. Kumaraja said, it's one of the most eye-opening lines I've read. It solves many riddles about human behavior. So if you apply this quote to this film, each person does what he or she thinks is right, and that comes from their needs. Only the good guys get a bit of justification.
நம்ம கஷ்டப்படுறது பொறுக்க முடியாம யாரோட மூளையோ பூந்து வந்துச்சு பொருளை கொடுத்துச்சு இன்னதுன்னு சொல்லுச்சு போயிடுச்சு.
For everyone else, no motivation or justification or explanation is needed to define or explain these characters. They are just defined by this one thing, Yedu Tevayo Aduve Dharma. Kirtika Tangavelu asks, I've always wondered why Subbu shot Sappa in the end and not Pasupati. Did she think of Pasupati as an ally? I think one reason may just be that there were no more bullets, right? Because there is a shot where she looks at her gun and then begins to pretend to cry in front of Pasupati. So maybe she realized at that point that there are no more bullets. But then I thought I heard only 5 bullets being shot. Four aimed at Sappa and 1 aimed at a henchman. If this is the case, then why does she not want to shoot Pasupati? Because I think now that Singam Perumal is dead, shooting Pasupati, who is now the Don, would be too much of a risk. She quickly realizes that, and it's probably easier for her to pretend to be a helpless woman and slip away. Aditya Ramesh asks, what, in your opinion, is the worst thing about this masterpiece of a movie? I don't know. I really love this film, and I saw it again for this program. I just saw it again after almost 7 years, and it still stands, it still stands very well. I don't hate anything as such, but the video game aspect, I found it a bit gimmicky, especially when Subbu says,
இந்த கேம்ல வர மாதிரி நம்ம வேற உலகத்துக்கு போய்ட்டா சூப்பரா இருக்கும்ல.
The line sounded too melodramatic and fake, but then again, you could make the case that the line is intended to influence Sappa and therefore it is meant to be corny. It's deliberately corny. So no, I guess I don't have any major problems with the film. Ranjit Kumar asks, why is the character of the small boy so important in the film? Because the small boy and Sampath, Pasupati, are the only 2 characters who are really good in a way. They are kind of mirrors. Both may be doing bad things, but they are also the only 2 characters whose Tevai need is based on love. The boy's love for his father and Sampath's love for his wife. This line kills me every single time.
உங்க அப்பா ரொம்ப பிடிக்குமா?
அப்படி இல்ல அனாரங்க அப்பா.
I mean, it may not even be love, more like a kind of loyalty, sticking through thick and thin. And the shot with Sampath and the boy is probably my favorite in the film. It's an extreme long shot, so you can really see into the distance. Sampath and the boy are very close to the screen, and at that point, both of them have lost something very close to them. The boy has lost his father and Sampath has lost his wife. And the huge empty space really amplifies their loneliness, their emptiness. They are dwarfed by the surroundings, the circumstances. Aditya Stanley asks, who do you think is the central character of the film? Is it Pasupati, Subbu, Kalyan, or the kid? That depends on how you define central character. For this is the kind of film where all the 6 characters have meaty roles. Subbu, Sappa, Singam Perumal, Kalyan, Pasupati, and Kodukapuli, the little boy. But among these, the closest we get to a central character, if you want to define him as a sort of protagonist, is Pasupati. Because he is the only guy who gets an actual hero kind of arc where he has to battle a lot of bad guys and he has a mission to rescue his wife. He's also the film's only straight guy. Almost everyone else is colored with very quirky shades and lines. Even Subbu, for lack of a better word, varinjifies in front of Sappa.
நீ எனக்கு சமோசா வாங்கி கொடுத்த.
ஏன்னா நான் லவ் பண்றேன்.
So we need one straight guy to anchor everything, and that's Sampath, that is the Pasupati character. Pranav Radi asks, Are most of us too early to celebrate and judge Tyagarajan's craft and style because he's made just one film? I think it's perfectly okay to celebrate a filmmaker even if he's made only one really good film, because we're not saying he's the greatest filmmaker of all time. We're just saying he made one very good film and we can't wait to see what comes next. And I think there is enough in Aaranya Kaandam to establish that there is a very genuine and unique voice and vision. Look at the scene which uses Ilayaraja's song from Thangamagan, Vava Pakkamba. The director once said, if I had to name someone who's responsible for me coming to films, it's Ilayaraja's music. But it's a song used only because of Ilayaraja, or also because it is from a Rajinikanth film. Because at the beginning, we get this apparently innocent line about pop culture.
Come on.
Yeah. And this actually becomes a defining character for Subbu later.
Yeah?
என்ன அவர் ரஜினி
புடிச்ச படம்
பாஷா நான் நம்மலாம் ஒரு அப்பாவின்னு நினைச்சிட்டு இருப்போம் ஆனா அவர்தான் பெரிய பாஷா.
We think she's an Appavi victim.
என்ன நல்ல மனுஷன், எனக்கு ஒரு பேத்தி வயசு இருக்கும், தூக்கிட்டு வந்து பாட்டியா வச்சிருக்காரு.
But she turns out to be something else. So coming back to the Ilayaraja song, it could also be this Rajini connection, because it plays just before the scene where Subbu transforms from Appavi to whatever she is, just like Basha transforms from an innocent guy to the Don. Now, I don't know if Tyagaraja and Kumar Raja really intended it this way or not, but this is one way you can sense that you're in the presence of a good writer-director, because you can keep digging out things like this.
Yeah.
Plus, the writing is fantastic. There are no love scenes, no sentimental scenes. There are no hero or villain introduction scenes. I mean, we do get a villain introduction scene, but it's used to show that this man is impotent, and that's so unusual. We'll talk more about writing in this next question by Aditya Uti, who says, the scene with the fortune teller is one of the most revealing scenes in the dynamics in human interactions. Could you discuss why it is effective even if it is so short? So this is again the kind of offbeat touch that really elevates a screenplay. Instead of having all the characters directly related to the movie, somebody tangential comes into the movie, who's not even a part of the movie in the major sense, and then gives some color to the screenplay and then vanishes. So this fortune teller is definitely one of those characters. In the sense that when we are on the roads, we come across all kinds of people, and this guy is one of them. So this is a scene with Gajapati, a dreaded gangster, and it is a great way to introduce not just color and humor, but also some tension, because you wonder if this annoying, irritating fortune teller is going to escape with his life. And this is when you know the writing is consistent, because it is very similar to another earlier scene of tension and release when Ravi Krishna has just made love to Subbu, and the doorbell rings and he panics and he's terrified and he thinks he's going to die, and after a lot of build up we realize it's just the water can guy. At these points, the screenplay toys with our expectations. Plus, another thing this fortune teller scene has that's consistent with the earlier scenes is the pop culture reference.
Swami, appa neenga manasula nenachikittu irundha andha rendu poo
Prabhu, Gushpu.
As I said earlier, there's really a voice and vision behind this film. It binds everything together. So those were the 10 questions we picked for Aaranya Kaandam, and I'll end the episode on a tangential note. One of the things about analyzing films and crafts is how you notice that a scene or a shot reminds you of a much earlier film. In Jigar Thanda, for instance, the shot of Assault Setu entering the theatre without the audience knowing that he's there is filmed in a very similar way to the way in Pyasa, Gurudat's character enters a theatre without the audience knowing he's there. It's a very similar kind of lighting as well, with a heavy backlight and all that. Likewise in Aaranya Kaandam, this framing of Subbu and Sappai inside a TV screen is reminiscent of the 1955 Douglas Sirk movie called All That Heaven Allows. It's a scene where a widow's sons gift her a television set so that she doesn't have to step outside for entertainment, and basically they're treating her like a prisoner because they don't want her to leave the house. The framing shows that because her face is kind of imprisoned in the TV screen. These small discoveries, these little things, these happy accidents, that's what makes film watching so much fun. We'll let you know soon what film we're going to talk about in the Ask VR next, and if you have any suggestions, do let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and do subscribe to Film Companion South.
Good as always.
Yeah, always so intelligent.
Yeah, very articulate. Very. I do find it absolutely hilarious. A lot of times with art critics in all art forms, but movie reviews as well, I've found that, and it's one of the beauties of cinema, is that you can do this. because art is subjective. A lot of people tend to read into movies things that were never intended.
Yeah.
That's not good or bad. That's just like the director might not have intended everything that he just said.
Correct.
But it's still there. And
right.
It can work. And that's one of the things that I think makes film watching so beautiful, and the collective community around it, is that you can have these opinions about it, even if the director never intended. And that's why I think most directors often are like, yeah, what do you think? Ask your opinion on what did you get out of the movie. Same thing with, I mean, it's a different kind of art, but like when people look at pictures, what is this giving you right now?
Yeah, there's this monologue from a newer play that has one of the best descriptions of modern art, and it applies to what you're talking about right now. And in the monologue, he basically says, I'm going to describe modern art for you. So they did an experiment with seagulls. And seagull mothers have 3 stripes on their neck and a red dot on their beak. And when baby seagulls see the 3 stripes, they know the mama's there, and they go for the red dot because that's where the beak is and the food's going to be there.
Yeah.
If somebody opened up a museum, and then the next step, scientists just took a stick, painted 3 stripes on it and a red dot. When they brought it to baby seagulls saw the stripes and the dot and went at the dot as if they had seen their mother. They're just conditioned to that. If you opened up a museum and that museum had some paintings in it that had 3 stripes and a red dot, a seagull would walk in there and go, can't put my finger on it, but it reminds me of my mom and I'm hungry. That speaks to me on that level. No one else would get that. But the baby seagull people would. That's modern art.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of art appreciation.
It's all based
on
on
the
your
whole
experiences.
Is based on your experiences and things that touch you. And it's why some paintings, someone could look at a painting and go, don't get it. Another one can look at it all day long and it means so much to them. Same thing with some films. They resonate with it and some don't. And vive la différence.
Yeah. That's why some people can love a film.
Right. And some people can really dislike it. The time it came into your life.
Yeah.
The creators involved.
Obviously, this film, I think, all of his points, I think, were very good.
Very
really
good
well
points.
thought out.
Yeah.
Because that movie is that good. And I would love to watch Super Deluxe again. Because that was the first year, right?
It was either year 1 or 2. I think it might have been year 2.
I think it's year 1 because that was a big debate.
Was it?
It was a big debate video.
It may have been year 1
because you kept talking about the porn.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Shut the fuck up about the porn."
Super Deluxe was. I could find out. It's a deep dive. Yeah, it's much faster if you do it that way.
Okay, so it was 5 years ago.
Specifically, what date?
December 18th, 2019.
Okay, so it was almost year 2.
Almost year 2. But it was still early on. It could have been one of our first Tamil films.
Yeah. It may have been our first.
It was up there.
Yeah, it was way up there.
Because the first year, I think it was predominantly Hindi. Right?
Yeah.
Like
it was
if we did
pretty much
60,
all Hindi. Yeah.
Like 55 might have been Hindi.
Yeah. It was predominantly Hindi.
Look how different. The lighting.
Ooh. Yeah, that lighting's pretty great.
Backdrop's iconic, though.
The backdrop is iconic, but the lighting is predominantly your big windows throwing shade at us.
You know what I should do? I should bring back put some shelves here. Put the DVDs down
here. The DVDs.
Kind of an old throwback to our old videos.
That'd be good.
God.
En Spectrum sabemos que tu vida se mueve rápido. Mantente al día con la velocidad y seguridad de Spectrum Internet.
There's a bunch of stuff going on. There's a bunch of stuff going on. It's kind of insights you can get here at OSR. Yeah, we both look different. I didn't have children.
Yeah, that happens.
And you dyed your hair.
Yep.
Back in then.
I did dye my hair back then. And did more things to it that were incredibly unhealthy.
When was the last time you did it?
Dyed it?
Dyed it. Been a minute.
4 years ago. You could probably trace it to, I'm sure there's a video where I first do it, where I'm not doing it. But I think it's 3.5, 4 years ago, easy. But there's other things I did to my hair that were atrocious. First of all, the coloring I used was just trash. I occasionally had Hysis, my hair lady, do it, but that was pricey. I not only did that, I then used I did blow drying, I did straightening, I did cheap shampoo and conditioner, and I did hairspray, bad hairspray. So I would just destroyed my hair. Much healthier now.
Doesn't show.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was good as always. Very good. This guy's always fun to listen to. Let us know if he has others that we can watch. Let us know if you think Rick should do one of these videos. What movie do you think you could do a video like this to? Of Indian?
Header.
No.
There's a few.
No.
There's a few I'd like to do that with. Yeah, for sure.
A full breakdown.
A full breakdown? Yeah. That'd be fun.
Could be fun.
Yep.
Breakdowns with Rick.
Beatbox champ, 1982.
Never going to happen now. Anyways, let us know other videos down below.
The biggest, the baddest, wackiest, funniest, filmiest show on earth.
Never